Good day everyone. So for today we're going to discuss our prelim module, the evaluation of business performance. Now before we go to the main topic, let's just find out why we need to study this subject as part of your curriculum. Now, this course tends to help you to understand the importance of monitoring business performance, understanding trends and business functions that improves performance. So, if you're an IS student or any related IT course, it is important for you to know some functions or knowledge about business since we're dealing nowadays about more of business, and as your course, it is also related to business. Now, application or applying preventive measures including strategic planning and organizing business process to achieve business goals. So as an IS or IT, we are the one who supports them, especially in planning and decision making to make business goals achievable or possible, and also able for you to understand the business key terms and performance analyzing is vital as an IS analyst or IS student. Since you are dealing with a business and the target role is sustaining good business process to the business as a support to achieve their goals. In order for you to do it, is you must have the knowledge, especially in analyzing data, figures, and business functions in order for you to solve their problems and support in business planning. Alright, so you can read the abstract. It contains also the other information that you need to learn for this module. Now let's go to the main topic. We have here business performance. From the word business and performance. Okay, so business performance also refers to commercial effectiveness, which means business is monitored according to its sales. Of course, it is normally that a business, if you have a business, it is corresponds with a sales, revenue, production, and overall performance in a quarter run, quarterly or yearly. It depends to that business. Identify if the business able to maintain and achieve its goals. So if you're an IS or if an entire business able to sustain their goals, that means that the performance of a business, for example, we all know that Jollibee, let's just say Jollibee company, they've been operating more than a year, right? And their performance is going very well. Even their advertisement through TV, social media, or any site, they are doing great because of their analyst, marketing analyst, and their strong strategic planning. They will not last very long time if they didn't really focus on sales, advertisement, and good quality of their production. That's why their business or entire business performance went really very well even up till now. Even there are lots of competitors along their way. Now, identify if the business is able to maintain and achieve its goals. For example, for the business performance example is comparison of the sales from last year to this year using the data from the last year. Also, there's a comparison. Sales and revenue will be analyzed and create strategic plans on how to improve and increase the sales for this year. For example, let's just use again the Jollibee. Jollibee identified that their sales from last year is higher than current sales for this year. Okay, so on 2022, their sales is, let's just say, 1 million. And when they identify that their sales for this year is just not like it's not yet reaching 1 million. So for business performance, having a data which they will use, they identify that they need to push more for this year. Maybe they're able to identify also as well the the anomalies or problems encountered why such last year is higher sales than this year. So those are the factors that able to identify with the help of identifying business performance and knowing some metrics. Now, increasing business performance. We have here the first part, evaluating the business using various metrics. Now, for evaluation, there are lots of metrics and it will not undergo in a single base method, especially if your business you have a big business, a wide area of your business. Since a business is evaluated as a whole, this includes both sales, revenue, expenses, liquidity, and more, including human resource. So there will be various metrics that is needed to consider for the base of evaluation. Now, after evaluation, identify what went good and wrong. Next is taking corrective actions. Okay, for example, in evaluating the business using various metrics. So during the evaluation, you found out that there are shortage of, there are decrease of sales last year, or let's just say last month. So you're able to identify that the reason of the sales shortage or decrease is because of the lack of coordination from inventory department to the warehouse department. So during your evaluation, the analyst identifies that the reason for the decrease of sales last month was because of shortage of product ingredients. So that is the main problem, the reason, the shortage of the product ingredient, which is very vital in order to produce a particular product. So what is the reason why there are shortage of product ingredient? It is because of the inventory department was not able to forecast. Although it is not totally a big problem, but every small little problem can really impact a business. So if you imagine, not just because they wasn't able to forecast a number of stock, so it affects the production, it affects the sales, right? It affects the revenue. Now, since you're able to identify the problems, of course, there should be a corrective actions. You already have the problem. As a business, it is important to address that problem. It is not advised that you just say okay or you just pass through with that problem because it affects your business. So, taking corrective actions, what will be the corrective actions? After analyzing, after evaluation, the corrective action might business possible do is to go through the reason, like the roots of the problem. And the roots of the problem was the inventory department, the coordination, right? So the possible corrective action will be inventory department and warehouse department should have the coordination in forecasting materials or raw materials using softwares. That is possible using softwares or even just recording report or using daily stock report which we'll use to identify the number of stocks on hand. So with this corrective action, you will be able to identify how many ingredients or raw materials is on hand. And with this, after knowing this, you're able to identify if this stock on hand can supply or can sustain the number of products that the production will use. So ahead of time, we were able to identify the need of raw materials rather than not knowing how much stock on hand while on production and not knowing if it is like enough for the production. So that is one of the corrective action that might be like done in during after evaluation. Okay, now to ensuring the alignment, of course, with this corrective after evaluation, identifying problems and taking corrective actions, you ensures that your goals will be aligned. The objective of the business to increase their sales is possible because the production process is high. Now, there are several methods or metrics in evaluation of a business performance. We have EPM or Enterprise Performance Management, which evaluate the evaluation of an enterprise business. We also have CPM or Corporate Performance Management. This also evaluation of a corporate business. Now, BPM is a method or tool which help business leaders to track, to optimize, to monitor, and analyze the status of their business performance, ensuring that the established process is aligned to the business goals and become notified for future problems that the business process may encounter. Now, there are benefits of BPM. We have better alignment or alignment. From the word alignment, it ensures that every department, every process have the same goal in mind. So it is important that your employee, your stakeholders, all the processes is aligned to the goals and you have the same target. Because for example, if your employee is not the same goals, is very lazy, don't have the objective to like progress or to help the company to achieve the goals, though, so that could be a red flag for your employees. So it is important to consider also human resource and not just the human resource, also the process, your softwares, your engineers, your IT, and every sector of your business. Next is track business health to monitor performance across every aspect of the business, to notify warnings and keep on track. So it is also the benefits of BPM because you're able to track the business health, since especially if your business, for example, is Jollibee, and Jollibee is nationwide and they're also international. So for this wide area of a business, data is very huge, right? So it is important to identify or having a tool that will help you to track down the health of your business. Next is better planning and responsiveness. So for better planning and responsiveness, it enhances the business plans and support in better decision making. So for this, BPM will provide companies with tools for the decision making and planning. So it helps business identify problems, detect anomalies, and adjust future plans or be able to like think about or plan ahead of time with regards to detected problems. Next is improved process efficiency. So for this, company be able to track inefficiency spot of the business and it promotes improvement. And lastly is automation. Automation, it enables for a company or a business to manage time, fast track, and organize. Since nowadays, technology has been used in any aspect of our life, included in the business. So automation nowadays is very important, very comfortable, and competitive for all of the business, especially both in like manufacturing industry, food industry, clothing industry, or any type of like business nowadays. Automation is mostly used by every business. So we have now the business performance management cycle. Now, what is business performance management cycle? It is a BPM cycle that will help a business to refer this or serve as a guide to ensure that their strategic plans or their business will like helps them to ensure that they able to achieve their goals. So there are four cycles we have here. First, number one, set strategic goals for the organization or business. Of course, if you have a business, your objective will be the first, right? Your goals will be the first or your priority because that is your target plan. Any company, any business, there are always a goal or an objective. So, for example, a Jollibee, their objective is to be the number one fast food in the whole country, in the Philippines. So, in able for them to achieve that, there are a lot of process or strategic plans that they need to do, but they have this strategic goal or they have this objective to be the number one fast food in the Philippines, and their goals are layered. So it depends. It comes to quality, service, and etc. So again, for number one, setting strategic goals for the organization is the first main thing because a company who managed the performance of their business, company able to stay on track and helps to ensure the alignment from everyone toward common goals. Okay, so number two is create operational plans. So since you already have strategic goal, you already have objective, next thing is to create operational plans. We say operational because you need to do it and you have these plans in order for you to achieve the number one, the strategic goals. It is like, for example, in a simple way, when we wake up in the morning, right? For before we wake up in the morning, before we sleep, before we plan to what to do tomorrow, we have goals, right? For example, today is Sunday and tomorrow is Monday. Before Monday, we already have plans what to do. We're going to school, we go to shopping, we go to somewhere else. And before um, achieving that goal, of course, we have plans in mind. So, our plans we will sleep early so that you're able to wake up early in the morning. So, number one goal is to wake up in the morning. In the morning, yes. And your plans is sleeping early. Next thing is prepare your like clothes that you're going to wear. And ahead of time, you're also plans to go out from your house to school or from your house to somewhere else. Like or and let's just say plan another things, which is your planning before going outside, before achieving that goals. The same thing in the business. There will be always a plans in order to strategically achieve your goals. Now for planning, since it is very important in any business, and a business without the planning might not be effective and not able to achieve success. Every function of a business always corresponds as strategic planning because the first and primary step in any operation is planning before evaluation. How you can evaluate something like without data or without anything that you plan ahead, right? So let's just use again the first example. Like of okay, you already wake up in the morning. You're able to achieve your first plan, right? Right? And you're able to like use your clothes, done eating, done brushing your teeth, done shower. The next plan will be going to bus, commute, travel until you reach the goal, going to school. Every single step, it could be there will be a plan. The same thing to the business. There will always a plan every single step, and this step it can be important steps in order to achieve the goals. The same thing to business. Every single plans that the business creates, it contributes important role to achieve the goals of the business. Now, to create plans for your business, the planner should have target goals in mind, which align to the same goals. Goals that is achievable or SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, reliable, and timely. That will help business to improve and sustain their goals. A plans that is like possible to achieve. So this plan can be defined as strategies or tactics, techniques, or innovative plans. With this, it should have a data or information that can be based given on hand. Okay, so that is for create operational plans. Third is define or monitor and analyze KPI. KPI means key performance indicator. So defining, monitoring, and analyzing. Monitoring is also important. Metrics for tracking progress to determine the level of your business status and performance of the entire business. Since if you want to track your progress or the performance of your business, you should know how to monitor. You should know how to analyze data given from the performance of your business. Most of companies adapt on using softwares since software help company to make work easier and it is like less time and less cost. So companies adapt on using software to monitor business performance. With this software, it helps you or it helps your business to be updated the reports about the day-to-day report and trends in KPI or key performance indicator. With this report, this tool can be used by the company for decision plan making, especially in addressing challenges. Next is review and respond. Now, analyzing the data of KPI, there will be a response to changing business condition, especially for the challenges which is found during the reviewing of the data. Response can be the strategic plans that will solve challenges that a business found, not just the challenges but also progress of the business. Enable for the business to see progress and to continuously make corrections and adjusts to achieve goals. Okay. Now let's go to measuring BPM. Now there are a variety of KPI which a company can be used in order to measure their business performance. Company can also make their own KPI, which can be based from current KPI if their business model and function is unique and depends to what a business goal. So it intends to focus the main goal. Now what are the main goal? So we have here the typical key performance indicators. First one is financial, customer, marketing, sales, manufacturing, and employee. So we will tackle first the financial. For the financial, we have here the revenue, operating income, and operating expenses. We could have the accounts payable and receivable, or the overall company financial health in terms of profit, cash flow, and liquidity, or money flow of transaction. For financial, it talks about the money of a business. So for financial, we have the revenue. Revenue, income, both income and expenses. So income and expenses, these are the indicators of a business health. So it is not good or it's a bad business health if the expenses is higher than the income. It will be best if the income is higher than expenses, because if expenses is higher than income, that means you waste more on expenses than income. So that will be a loss of the business. The data of this is monitored by CEO or finance department, because revenue is a important factor of a business, because this identify if the business is gaining or losing. And it is important data that needs to be monitored in the business. Now, OCF or operating cash flow. So what is OCF? It is a cash generated by the company normally or main business activities. Declining cash flow can be a sign of business problems. Example for cash flow, here is we have salaries. Salaries which is paid out to employees. Cash paid to vendors or supplier. Okay, so for that is example of cash flow or cash operating flow. Next is we have here working capital. So for working capital, these are the company liquidity, the amount of cash and other current assets a business has available after all its current liability are accounted for. It is also called net working capital. So for example of this is cash. Next is accounts receivable aging. So when we say accounts receivable aging, it is a period of time a company customers pay their accounts payable. So if you have a customer and the customer has debt or the customer need to pay, so their money that pay to you is what we call accounts receivable in a business. But if a customer takes time to pay their accounts payable or their debt, so for that period of time, it calls accounts receivable aging. From the word age, a period of time of a company customers pay their accounts payable. So you may found like confused about accounts receivable and accounts payable. So just imagine yourself as a owner or a business. If you're going to receive money from a customer, That transaction is called account receivable because you receive a money. But if you're again imagine yourself as a business owner or business, if you have a debt from to a lending, let's just say lending agency or other business, and you need to pay them, for example, your supplier, you need to pay them this amount. So that's the time we will call it the term account payable. Okay, so that is the terminology and the difference between account receivable and payable. For account receivable aging, this measures the company collection practice and how fast and slow the collection process, evaluation of risk of debt, and long time unpaid account receivable. Okay, so for account payable aging, the same thing as account receivable aging, but the idea is that it measures how long your business or the company pay its obligation, accounts payable to its supplier. Okay, so that is for the accounts payable aging. Now let's go to the customer focused KPI or customer view about the company. So we have different types of customer focused KPI. First one is the customer satisfaction scores, which is view of customer from survey or other online feedbacks. So for example, if this could be online shopping, as you observe, for example, Shein, Lazada, Shopee, there are feedbacks or reviews of those sellers, right? If you're done purchasing some items, you'll be able to review, give feedback about the item. So that is one of the example of customer satisfaction scores. So with those data, after the customers view and review, give scores 5 star for the highest and 1 star for the lowest, you're able to gather data and give like interpret scores how your customer satisfied your from your service, and you're able to score your business how your business is effective to the customer. Next is a Net Promoter Score or NPS. It is a customer input how your customer recommend your business to others. Next is customer retention rate. So this is a higher retention rate is a strong sign that customer is happy. So it is like a evaluation or ration that how long does your customer focus or attract or like stay in your business, how long they like use your business, they been using your business, I mean it's either your product or your service. Next is we have here the marketing KPI. So for marketing KPI, it focuses on the campaign performance, helping marketers to apply different methods for reading or reaching customer. There are two different types of marketing KPI. We have ROI and CLTV. For campaign return on investment or ROI, it is measuring the effectiveness of different campaigns. The analysts were in identifying on what or which marketing strategy gain more revenue. Okay, so we have a formula for ROI. So we have here ROI is equal to the return minus investment divided to the amount of investment. For example, you invest in your business for worth 100 pesos and then your customer purchased your product and it gained 1,000 in return. Divide to 100 from your investment and the total will be your ROI or your revenue. So you earn 900 pesos from only 100 of your as your investment. So that is how you total compute or the formula of identifying ROI. Now we have here the customer lifetime value. It is a metric that represents the total net profit a company can expect to generate from a customer. Throughout their entire relationship, it takes into account the customer's initial purchase, repeat purchase, and the average duration of the relationship with the company. So this is the formula and getting the CLV. So for example, if you spend 1,000 pesos to acquire a new customer and on the course of the relationship between you and your business, the customer generates 2,000 in revenue from purchasing and gaining services and all your business offers. Okay, so that is the formula of customer lifetime value. Next, we have sales KPI. So when we say sales KPI, it synthesizes raw data into critical business metrics used to measure the activities of an individual, department, or the business. So for sales KPI, we have monthly sales growth, which means monitoring the progress of the sales every month. Next, we have here sales target attainment, measuring team performance compared to its target goals. So if they attaining their goals, if they have quota, they need to reach the sales target. So you will measure them if they're able to attain every month or the target goals they are assigned. Monitors each member's effectiveness or each member's performance, achievement, progress, and it defines stagnant member. And initiate training and evaluation for each team. So next is sales by contact method. So it helps for the company to first determine what are the customer needs, what customers used to purchase. So with that data, you'll be able to decide where to focus the sales effort.